Hello.
Enter, if you dare.
You've done that one before.
Have I done that one already?
You have. It's still funny, but you've done it before.
No.
Welcome back once again to Wheel Takes, a podcast that is about different stuff depending on the day. And this day,
it's about
it
mind
is about
your business, what it's
the
about.
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, a novel in the Hunger Games universe by Suzanne Collins. I am Gus. I've read the whole Hunger Games trilogy, and I've read Ballad through chapter 24.
And I'm Allie. Same.
This podcast only contains spoilers for what we've already read. Allie.
I knew it.
What did you knew?
I knew Sejanus Plinth was a fucking peacekeeper, too.
You did. And you knew a lot of stuff, and you kind of nailed it.
I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
We have updated our bingo cards. They are down below, the new ones.
Here are my changes, really quickly.
We're going to run over the changes real quick, starting with Allie.
All right. I am moving Lucy's reaping confirmed rigged, and I'm swapping it with Sejanus dies. So that, because I think I'll get a bingo there if I do that. I'm changing Choreo becomes a game maker, because I don't think that's happening necessarily this book, to Sejanus is a peacekeeper, which I just got this chapter. Increíble.
You did. And we made these before we started listening or reading or whatever.
I'm changing Lucy and Sejanus hook up to Lucy and Choreo break up.
Oh.
And I'm changing Choreo is mean to Tigress to peacekeeper abuses of power.
Classic.
And I'm changing Sejanus and Marcus Bond, because obviously that's not going to happen, to hints of Victor's Village.
I love it. All right, here's what I've done. I have replaced Lucy kills Jessup with Sejanus dies. That's new. I have swapped Marcus allies with Jessup and Mayor Lip's daughter, Lordump. I have swapped...
That's looking likely after these chapters.
Marcus attacks Sejanus with Grandmam dies. I have swapped Corey gets 3 strikes with Everdeen, Millark, or Hawthorne mention. And I have replaced young Mag's mention with Lucy Gray and Coriolanus break up.
Copycat. Just kidding.
I did this before you.
Just kidding. No, wait. No, but I did Lucy and Snow break up on my original sheet, I thought.
No, you didn't. You just read... What?
Oh, well...
I don't think so. She's trying to throw my own hood over my head now. Allie, here's the thing. Where did we leave off? They can't even hear that. She's just throwing a hood at me. It's very funny.
Sejanus showed up as peacekeeper.
That is not where we left off.
Coriolanus got sent to go be a peacekeeper.
That is where we left off. But then we did a live react for the first 2 chapters, so I understand why you may have been confused. And guess who took notes for that live reaction?
Not me.
I did. But then I didn't take any notes for chapter 24.
Wow.
So,
well,
you know, nobody's perfect.
Lack of professionalism.
But here's the thing.
What?
I have notes.
Good call. I put my foot up on the table, and Gus moved the water bottle that was open for some reason.
Because I'm drinking from it.
You don't cap it in between sips?
It's a narrow-necked Nalgene. I don't cap it every time I sip it.
A narrow-necked Nalgene. Say that 3 times.
A narrow-necked Nalgene.
Okay. Coriolanus.
I do have notes for chapter...
Share away.
21. District 9, what the fuck? Because they were like, he stopped in District 9. I thought he was getting off in District 9. I was like, unexpected turn.
And Lucy's just there.
Yeah. Wine more, bitch boy. That's the Coriolanus.
I had no doubt.
That's a sick burn, though, high bottom. Like, it was
a
mean.
Bottom burn.
A bottom burn. You don't want one of those. You ate the wrong thing.
A high bottom burn.
Wow. It's almost like you're not so different from the district people, you shit fuck.
God, if only this fucking fuck would realize that.
Choreo, you don't deserve Tigress.
No one deserves Tigress.
Who do you think you are? Because he was like, oh man, I bet the news is just buzzing about me on national news that Coriolanus Snow was sent to be a peacekeeper. And I was like, who the fuck do you think you are, kid?
I rolled my eyes so hard.
Smiley, don't be nice to this kid. He sucks.
Smiley, you're too good for him.
Slot Tigress. Oh my God. She signed. It's funny because we listened to this, but we were also reading it reading it from the book at the same time. And in the audiobook, Tigress signs her letter, Snow lands on top. In the book, she just signs it, Slot.
Slot.
Hash is great, you clown.
Hash is great.
Hash is delicious. And then I wrote, the Anus brothers back together again. That's it.
Anus and anus. Putting the rings together. Form of an anus.
Indeed.
Shape of an anus. It's Wonder Twins reference.
Now, it's funny.
Anus edition.
Because I actually don't think we're going to have that much to go over.
You know what? They were chapters with a lot in it, but not a lot
to discuss.
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm more excited to talk about the Covey than anything. And
I'm worried about the Covey.
Oh, of course you are. You should be. I am.
Yeah, because there aren't any mention of them in Katniss Times.
No, there are not.
That makes me concerned, considering Snow loves killing everyone someone loves.
He does.
Have we noticed this habit of his?
It's a trend.
I hope it doesn't start here.
It's a bad trend.
I'm getting very nervous.
But yeah, this guy sucks. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, chapter 21.
Yeah.
And how we don't think we're going to have too much to talk about, but if this episode says part 1, I'm wrong again. I really don't think it will.
I hope not, because I want to read more.
Well, Allie, it's your chapter. Take us away.
All right, Coriolanus is on the train, whining his ass off.
We get the whole flashback to High Bottoms. I'm surprised they put this here. I mean, it makes sense to end dramatically on he got on a train to be a peacekeeper.
That is why it happened. She needed her chapter-ending moment.
But then she stopped down to recap the entire conference. I figured we would just accept what had happened.
That's totally a TV move.
It is.
That's a Suzanne Collins wrote for TV move.
Big time.
So they talk about how they had gotten the compact from Lucy. They had to wrestle her to the ground for it.
She's too good for
how
them.
They kind of put all the pieces together. Oh. And Coriolanus says, so why haven't you made this public? Oh, believe me, I was tempted. But the Academy, when expelling a student, has a tradition of offering them a lifeline. As an alternative to public disgrace, you may join the peacekeepers by the end of the day.
By the end of the day.
But why would I do that? I mean, why would I say I would do that when I've just won the Plinth Prize at the university?
Yeah, no, you didn't, though. You fucked it up. You beefed it.
You're that kind of patriot? Because you believe learning to defend your country is a better education than a lot of book knowledge? Because the Hunger Games changed you and you're going where you can best serve Panem? You're a clever young man, Coriolanus. I'm sure you'll think of something. But why do you hate me so much? I thought you were my father's friend. Nah. I thought I was too.
Lore,
but
deep
it turned
lore.
Out I was only someone he liked
lore.
Because he could use them, even now. But he's dead now. He's been dead for years. He deserved to be. But he seems very much alive in you. He lives in you. He lives in me.
Is that what?
Lion King.
Lion King. Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I just really like that song. Gus and I went to go see Lion King, the Broadway musical, but it was the touring musical.
It was good.
This year.
It's usually pretty good.
And I cried the whole time.
Yeah.
3 hours. Cried the whole time.
Dehydrating.
Very. So, here's my thing. Highbottom definitely came up with the Hunger Games as a joke that would never happen.
Well, it was a theoretical, right? I'm pretty sure that we get that.
Yeah. But then Crassus was like, no, that's a brilliant idea, and then suggested it. And Casca was like, we were drinking and having an as-if conversation, not a real one.
That is not what I assumed happened.
What did you assume happened?
I think he had someone killed.
I don't see how you would come to that conclusion, but I guess we will figure that out when we get there.
You don't see how I... Do we need to retread Maidgate again?
Maidgate is real.
Maidgate and the man's legs were blown. How is it that Crassus...
Oh, no, that guy was definitely allowed to die.
How the fuck is it that Crassus rubbed somebody out for Casca? That's just beyond the pale. That's just ridiculous. But Maidgate is completely reasonable.
Maidgate was completely reasonable until I realized that she didn't work for them. But if she had worked for them, it would have been too much of a coincidence that he then happened to find her in a dark alley.
Sure.
Dead on the ground.
But what? Okay, because they're
Am I
yelling.
wrong?
They're yelling. He's yelling at her. He's yelling at him. Go ahead.
I just misremembered certain information.
Okay, but now we're talking about how it's not completely unreasonable to think that Crassus had someone killed. Because he said, I was drunk. I was just talking. You didn't actually have to go and do anything about it. And
How
Crassus,
could you not think
Crassus
that my theory is just as reasonable?
Your theory is just as reasonable. I didn't say anything about your theory. I'm only defending myself.
Hold on. I don't remember the context.
Listen, we'll get there.
Yep, wait. It was the letter from what's-his-face? Boris. Not Boris, but he says, I'm so sorry how all this has worked out for you. Casca Highbottom's punishment seems excessive, and it started me wondering. I think I've mentioned that he and your father were thick as thieves when they were at university, but I do remember, toward the end there, a row of sorts.
A what?
A row.
There you go.
I forget how that's pronounced.
Watching Allie do the voices is so fun, by the way, because she acts with her whole self while she's doing the voice acting. It's really great.
Do you not?
Yeah, I do too. It's just really exciting to watch you do it.
Thank you. But I do remember, toward the end there, I'm kind of doing a little bit of a Matthew McConaughey thing, but whatever.
All right.
A row of sorts. All right. Very uncharacteristic of them. Casca was furious, saying he'd been drunk and the whole thing was meant to be a joke. And your father said he should be grateful that he'd been doing him a favor. Your father left, but Casca stayed drinking until I closed.
How does this not sound like he had someone killed? How is that ridiculous?
This also sounds like I got drunk and suggested the Hunger Games as a theoretical joke. And Crassus was like, actually, that's a brilliant, horrible, horrific idea. I'm going to use Casca's idea
to
get us both ahead.
Casca came up with it in a class and submitted it as a theoretical.
Yeah, I assumed it was like the group projects that Gall made them do, and they were sitting around drinking while they were doing the project, and Casca just goes, well, we could have them just, like, we could just murder a bunch of their children in something called the Hunger Games.
Sure, all right, sure.
And then Crassus went ahead and submitted it.
Okay, it's possible.
Which would that not be kind of an echo of what he did to Clemencia, or Snow did to Clemencia earlier this book?
Kinda. I could see it. Sure.
And that would be a pretty good reason for Casca to hate Coriolanus.
Sure. It could be. I still think he just had someone killed.
A deep, anusy grudge. But what would that matter? I mean, it would matter.
Crassus is drunk. He's bitching about his insert person here. Best, rival, friend, girlfriend, wife, mother, enemy, business opponent. And he's like, God, I just wish he'd just fucking die. I wish someone would just fucking kill him, man. And then
why would he say like moths to a flame?
Who says like moths to a flame?
Casca stays after drinking and says like moths to a flame.
Oh, then you're probably right, because I forgot about that line.
That's why that was the whole thing my argument hinged on.
I had no memory of that. I completely forgot it.
Casca stayed drinking until I closed. I asked what was wrong, but all he could say was like moths to a flame.
All right, cool. Well, maybe.
I mean, maybe you're right. You know what? Crassus killed the maid. Massacre. Maids. Maidsacker. They made their bed. Now they have to lie in it. Made in Manhattan.
Amazing. So what's going on in chapter 21?
Minute Maid. Lemon Maid.
What's going on in chapter 21, bud?
Hold on, let me made it back to my spot.
Every time we sit down to record, we go, this one's not going to be that long. It's going to be a short one.
It's not going to be that long.
This one, I think we can bang this out in an hour or less.
I've skipped over so many pages.
And then
fuck off.
We both end up just going off on these completely irrelevant goose chase tangents, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, if they want the fucking audiobook, they can listen to the audiobook.
It's true.
All right, so he has to shave his head, which is, of course, as we know, akin to first-degree murder. He meets Smiley and some other dude.
It's not Beanpole.
No, Beanpole. Well, he does meet Beanpole. Beanpole is his bunkmate, but he also meets some other dude. Beanpole doesn't get the name Beanpole yet.
Okay. What's Sejanus' nickname? I don't remember, because Coriolanus is Gent.
I don't think we learned Sejanus' nickname.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the worst is he goes home and Tigress and Grand Mam are all like, woo!
Oh, yeah, they're reveling.
And he's like, I am going away for 20 years.
Peace.
And they're like, that's one of the biggest buzzkills we've ever heard.
See you never.
So I think one of the like shitty things he does is just to get back to his family, because Grand Mam, he's like, she's not going to be around in 20 years. So this is the last time I'm going to see her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Smiley and Bug.
Bug. That's
the
it.
round-faced, talkative boy named Smiley and his diminutive buddy Bug. And by the end of lunch, they've been dubbed, Coriolanus and Junius have been dubbed Gent and Beanpole.
That's it.
I don't know why he's called Beanpole.
Because he's skinny and tall.
Well, that'll be it. Oh, he finds out that a lot of the peacekeepers were not born in the capital.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Why? Well, you.
Oh,
this thing. Police your own people."
Yeah.
This
well,
is a
not
line
your
and a half,
own.
but that's what he says.
Yeah. Well, first, Coriolanus earlier this chapter started describing the meager pay and stuff and being all rude. And Smiley says, "Oh, sure. Peacekeeping's good work if you can get it. Better than mill work. Lots of food and money enough to send back to my folks. Some people sneer at it, but I say the war is history and a job's a job."
You're too chipper, bud.
Smiley's dead. Coriolanus says, "So you don't mind policing your own people?" "Oh, those aren't my people. My people are innate. They don't leave you where you were born. Besides, you're my family now, Gent." Yeah, Smiley's dead. Smiley's dead.
He's super dead.
But also, this is a tactic that has been shown to increase problems in terms of police violence in the past, is you take police officers from outside of the communities that they live in.
Yeah, and you put them other
and you
places,
put them in other
so they
places.
don't feel a connection to the community.
Yeah, they don't feel a connection to the community, and they can often then feel more free to be more violent with the community that they are serving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a problem that's being talked about. Yeah, he gets a letter from Tigress. Apparently Festus, Persephone, and Lysistrata are all very concerned about Coriolanus, and Mrs. Plinth asks for his address. There's a lot of rumors about why he left going on.
As you might expect.
And Pluribus is taking care of Tigress and Grandmam. And then she says, "Slot, Tigress."
Slot, Tigress.
And he gets all depressed. And he's like, "And what of him? Coriolanus Snow, future president of Panem."
Well, you're right about that, unfortunately, you fuck.
His life, tragic and pointless, unspooled before him.
Shut up.
He saw himself in 20 years' time, grown stout and stupid, the breeding beaten out of him, his mind atrophied to the point where nothing but base animal thoughts of hunger and sleep ever crossed it.
Shut the fuck up.
And he thinks like Lucy Gray's being tortured in Gall's lab. And
well, you'd think, but no, actually. This time, she's okay.
She's fine. She didn't break any rules. Coriolanus did.
Well, she covered for him, so I understand why he thinks
whatever.
that.
They have no use for her anymore.
That's true.
And he's all homesick. He hears footsteps. And someone comes in and looks at him and says, "Is this bunk taken?"
"It's your boy. It's our friend.
Twisted around on the bed.
Your friend
his
and
eyes
mine."
Flying open to confirm what his ears already knew. Standing in the doorway, looking oddly at home in a set of fatigues still creased from the package, stood Sejanus Plinth.
Hey! He's gonna die.
And such an anus it is.
Chapter 22. Allie, do you have notes?
No.
Well, guess
I do for 23 and 24, though.
I have a couple. New Jim, be original. You don't deserve Ma Plinth. Well, Sejanus is fucked.
Absolutely fucked.
Welcome to the actual poverty show, Snow, you clown fuck ass. I'm just going to keep stringing curse words together for him. Mockingjay time. All right. Coriolanus is like, oh my god, Sejanus, my friend. But actually, he's excited to see him for once. And they hug, and Sejanus goes, this is a surprisingly warm welcome for the person who almost destroyed you. And Coriolanus is like, you have no idea.
I fucking hate you.
So we get the rundown. Strabo offered to build a new gym.
Strabo. It's always a gym.
It's always
with
a
these
gym.
people.
Yeah, it's always a gym. He was going to have a new gym built to get Sejanus out of hot water, like in addition to having him sent to the districts, because I think that was unavoidable.
Mm-hmm.
But to allow him to graduate, because he was going to get expelled. But he was like, no, just let him graduate. I'll build y'all a new gym. We can go from there.
Yeah.
So Sejanus was like,
that's pretty huge to have your degree.
Yeah, he has to do, yeah. And Sejanus was like, I'm not going along with it unless you let my best friend, Coriolanus Snow, graduate too. And they were pitching this to Sickle, and Sickle was like, I don't really give a shit one way or the other, but we could actually use the gym, so sure, fine.
Yeah.
It's just also fake, all this bullshit, man.
It's also fake.
It's just fucking bullshit.
It's just fucking bullshit. And you know what? I have bad news. That's true for other things as well.
Yes, it is. Coriolanus goes, I got to graduate, and he gives him his diploma and goes, congratulations, you are no longer a dropout.
Yay!
And he even
but
graduated
also,
with high honors.
Here's the thing, though. This is kind of the move that inadvertently makes it possible
for everything
Snow to
else
become
to happen.
President.
Yeah, it's kind of, oh, god damn it, Sejanus. I know you were trying.
It's such a good-hearted thing. And what a fucking fuck up it is.
He did so well, but so poorly.
He got anus blinded.
Snowblind was right there.
I like that. He got snow blinded. Oh my god. Wait, that's really good.
They talk over Lucy Gray. Nobody knows where they're at. Coriolanus is like, man, I thought my life was over, but now you're here. I guess it's a little better. And Sejanus is like, dude, this is awesome. Like, this is the peak. Things are only going to get better from here. This is amazing. Your life has just begun. Also, my mom's going to make you a shitload of baked goods.
Oh.
Coriolanus was laughing. So this isn't our ruin? I'd call it our salvation. Mine anyway. Oh, Corio, if you only knew how glad I was to escape. I never liked the capital, but after the Hunger Games, after what happened to Marcus, I don't know if you were kidding about suicide, but it was no joke to me. I had the whole thing worked out, and we went, oh my god. Because these kids are going through it, Allie.
They have gone through
Considering suicide this bad.
This is not good at all.
This is bleak.
In fact.
But now they're happy for the minute, and Sejanus will stop being happy very soon, which is a shame.
I know. He's happy for all of 3 pages in this book.
Really, he gets a nice minute or two here, because he wanted to be a medic. He thought he was going to come and, like, help people, but actually, you know, he's not.
I'm sure there are a lot of people in oppressive systems that thought they were going into it to help people. It's an unfortunate thing when you have a good heart sometimes, is that sometimes your intentions are not the reality.
So they have a whole philosophical conversation about, like, the nature of the world and whether it's brutal or whether it's pacifistic or peaceful and nice and good. And Sejanus pushes back pretty hard against.
Yes.
Yeah, Sejanus pushes back pretty hard against all of the volumnia gall that is coming out of Coriolanus's mouth, because he's just sort of parroting her now to a certain extent.
Coriolanus's?
Yeah.
That's because she's been brainwashing them.
the Hunger Games, he's saying, I think that she thinks we're all monsters. And he says, according to her, that the Hunger Games are a reminder of what monsters we are and how we need the capital to keep us from chaos. And Sejanus goes, so not only is the world a brutal place, but people enjoy the brutality, like the essay on everything we loved about the war, as if it had been some big show. So much for not thinking, because he was like, I don't want to talk about anything serious. And they have a conversation about morals and ethics.
Light, fluffy commentary.
Coriolanus claims that he's happy that Volumnia Gaul is out of their lives. I'm going to wait and see on that whole bag.
Considering that he becomes president of Panem and a major proponent of the Hunger Games, I'm
probably
going
not.
with nah.
Now, here's the thing about these chapters, which I thought was interesting. Coriolanus has an opportunity here to actually, gain perspective and become sympathetic.
Too bad.
Yeah, but I want to talk about this, because this feels like the opening of a new book. These 4 chapters. It feels very, very separate from everything else. He's left home. He's being confronted by what true poverty is. He's seeing true suffering.
Well, in another world, this could very much be an inciting incident.
Yeah. And he has these moments of wow, I didn't realize things could be this bad. Wow, I didn't realize this. Wow, I didn't realize that. And he even kind of starts to have a couple of thoughts about that border on self-reflection. And we know he's not going to follow through with these.
Yeah, he never gets all the way there.
So, what do we think is going to happen?
I think that he is going to get close to being a good person and then make the wrong choices.
See, I'm concerned because the last thing that happens in these chapters is Sejanus is betraying military secrets to fuckboy.
He's gonna turn Sejanus in to go home. I bet.
Awful.
I bet $1 million. And then that's not gonna be good for Lucy Gray. She's gonna be like, you're a fuckhead. And then he's gonna be like, I also now hate women. How unreasonable of her to not love me for being a fuckhead.
I'm done being evil. I want to find love.
He's gonna go, this is what happens when you're a nice guy,
Evil
just turning in your friend to go home to your grandmother. Nice guys finish last. Guess I fucking hate women now, since I was such a nice guy before and I was so cool to her, and now she just threw that back in my face, so now I hate fucking women too.
So Lucy Gray is going to be...
He's just that guy where he gets his feelings hurt one time and the whole world has to suffer for it all the time.
That is, in fact, the plot of The Hunger Games. So there's going to be music, and Lucy Gray is going to be there, and he gets excited, and he starts thinking about her in a lot of different ways, and yeah, he learns that he can do officer candidacy school because he has a diploma. So he's like, hell yeah, I'm going to climb that ladder instead. Amazing. Let's do it.
God, I really wish that you climbed a ladder off of a short pier.
And
climb a long way off a short ladder, babe.
So the day goes by, the week goes by, and then we get to Friday and shit gets bad. On Friday morning, a tense mood infused the mess hall, and Smiley got the story out of a nurse he'd met at the clinic. About a month earlier, around the time of the reaping, a peacekeeper and 2 District 12 bosses had been killed by an explosion in the mines. The criminal investigation had led to the arrest of a man whose family had been known rebel leaders during the war, and we were like, oh, say his name is Hawthorne, say his name is, whatever.
Everdeen. We didn't get that.
We did not get that. He was to be hanged at 1 that afternoon. The mines were shutting down for the event, and the workers were expected to attend. And Coriolanus is like, why do I care? And
always a good sign in a civilization, public executions.
Forced attendance, public executions, especially.
Really good sign.
Coriolanus is like, why do I care? And they're like, because you're going to go and you're going to be there with a gun to, just
make sure nobody does
keep
anything.
Keep an eye on things. You and Sejanus. And they're like, okay, well, whatever. Sure, I guess.
Welcome to the worst place ever.
He thinks about District 13 and how it's gone. Spoilers, it's not. And all they have to do is stand there at attention. And then as the truck drove around, they get in the truck, the perimeter of the district, the buildings went from dingy to squalid.
Oh, one thing that I meant to say about Casca.
Yes.
Is I feel like both Strabo and Casca have mentioned knowing Crassus and the kind of man he was. Mm-hmm. And that he was the kind of guy who used people, right? And all this stuff. So both of them see that he's friends with Sejanus And both of them, I think, are very aware that in all likelihood, with Coriolanus being just like Crassus, that friendship is not genuine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think even because Coriolanus kind of going back and forth between being like Crassus and like unnamed mother, because the mothers are never named.
Never once.
Who appears to just be, as Crassus rudely put it, vapid.
Which, I mean, unnecessary for him to say about a dead woman in front of her orphan son. But, you know, at the same time, go off, I guess. Give us the tea, Casca.
The doors and windows of the decrepit houses gaped in the heat. Hollow-faced women sat on doorsteps watching half-naked children with sharp rib cages playing listlessly in the dirt.
And Coriolanus immediately goes, these people have no class.
He does not.
Yeah, he does.
In some yards, pumps attested to the lack of running water, and the sagging power lines suggested that electricity was not guaranteed. It frightened Coriolanus, this level of want. He'd been broke most of his life, but the Snows had always worked hard to maintain decency. Oh, he does, doesn't he? These people had given up. And some part of him blamed them. Oh, fuck you. I completely missed this part, you shitbag. And some part of him blamed them for their plight.
You literally just said he did not. He absolutely did for a paragraph.
I forgot. I thought he was like, oh my God, this is terrible. Like, I thought I had it bad.
That's how a normal person would react.
He doesn't do that. He goes, oh, this is terrible. These poor people need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps.
No, see, you thought you were so upset, I'm sure, by the fact that he was doing this, that you were like, no, that can't possibly be what this is. This is how I'm going to delete this.
Surely not. Surely he's not looking at
how a normal person would react.
Poverty and going like, fucking welfare queens.
Surely he's not looking at children with their rib cages poking out, which, by the way, I believe that typically in starvation, children have like distended bellies. So actually that's like even more starving. Don't they normally have like if you're on the verge of death,
you're distended? Yes.
Oh, okay. So the fact that they have rib cages poking out is actually a good sign.
That's a good thing. Yes.
That's horrible. The only reason I know anything about that is because I read too many of those, like, you know, those journals written by girls in historic periods or children in historic periods.
No.
Oh, but they're not like real journals. They're like authors who write these journals as if they were children living in My Name is America.
Yeah, no, I don't. No.
The Dear America series. Yeah. Where it'd be like kids in particular periods in time. So like the Oregon Trail, or the Titanic, or the Donner Party.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'm not familiar with any of this.
Well, I read the shit out of these as a kid.
All right, cool.
And they were good as fuck. But yeah, there was a lot of like children starving with distended bellies kind of shit.
So yeah, Coriolanus, I was wrong, is actually the worst. I thought he had a moment of reflection, but in fact he's a dickhead.
Yeah.
And they get to a tree. What's made for hanging? Huh, never seen this before.
Huh.
Mayor Lip shows up along with Mayfair Lip. I can't wait to learn more about Mayfair Lip. The commander comes, a bunch of, anyway, it's hanging, everybody's there, it's all very sad, and everybody's getting lined up to watch the hanging. The crowd fell silent, and a peacekeeper read out the list of crimes the condemned, Arlo Chance, had been convicted of, including the murder of 3 men. Although he tried to project, his voice seemed puny in the hot, damp air. When he concluded, the commander gave a nod to the peacekeepers on the platform. They offered the condemned a blindfold, which he refused, and then put the noose around his neck. And then,
Ugh.
A young woman with olive skin and long black hair rose above the mass into the air as a man tried to carry her off, but she desperately fought to move forward, shrieking, "Arlo! Arlo!" Already, peacekeepers were closing in on her. The voice had an electrifying effect on Arlo as his face registered first surprise, then horror. "Run!" he screamed. "Run, Lil! Run! Run!" The clap of the trapdoor release and subsequent twang of the rope cut him off mid-word, drawing a gasp from the crowd. Arlo dropped 15 feet and seemed to die instantly.
Ugh.
In the ominous silence that followed, Coriolanus could feel the sweat running down his ribs as he waited for the outcome. Would the people attack? Would he be expected to shoot them? Did he remember how the gun worked? He strained his ears for the order. Instead, he heard the voice
When can I start shooting them? Very excited about
he heard the voice of the dead man ringing out eerily from the gently swaying corpse. Run! Run, Lil! Run! And that's the end of chapter 22.
We got ourselves some mockingjays. For a moment, he thought...
I do have notes.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
Chapter 23. Yeah, that's not going to change, bud. When he's like, I hate mockingjays. These things are the worst.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I have something to say about that, too. But we'll get to me.
Did Crassus have someone killed? Or like... But we've talked about this. What a waste of a dynasty. You are a waste of carbon. Nice to meet you, Maud Ivory. Lol, what, Clementine?
I know. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Clementine.
Be possessive again. Be possessive again, motherfucker. I dare you.
He's gonna be possessive
He's gonna
again.
be possessive again.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. LOL, Coriolanus hating the Mockingjays on sight. Baby, you don't even know. So Highbottom suggested the Hunger Games as a joke, and Crassus went through with it, didn't he?
Maybe.
Beautiful in a way anyone could see, but just him. That could be a problem.
I hated that line.
If you don't fuck off right now, I swear.
Oh, that line made me so mad.
The fact that they don't take money because sometimes hungry people need music the most is just so wow.
Yeah.
As like just a person who has had to navigate the line between like, we have bills to pay, but we also want to make sure our art is accessible. It's just very wow for me. I'm starting to feel good that we're going to get an explanation as to why Lucy Gray's reaping was rigged.
Yes.
And that's it. For a moment, he thought he'd gone mad. He disobeyed orders and whipped his head around, almost expecting to see an army of Arlos breaking through the teeming woods behind him.
That'd be kind of cool, though.
That would be kind of hilarious. Nothing. No one. Then the voice came again from a branch a few feet above him. Run, Lil! Run! At the sight of the small black bird, he flashed back to Dr. Gall's lab where he'd seen the same creatures, perched at the top of the cage. Jabberjays. Why, the woods must be full of the things, mimicking Arlo's death cry as they had the wails of the Avoxes in the lab. Run! Run, Lil! Run! Run, Lil! Run! Run, Lil! That's horrifying and horrible.
Terrible, yeah. It's the worst thing I've ever heard.
It was really actually very uncomfortable to read.
I bet.
Yeah, and there's some of the peacekeepers were unaffected because they were used to that by now. Out in the crowd, the peacekeepers had the woman, Lil, and were carrying her away. Why are they arresting her for being upset?
Maybe she,
Maybe she was part of the rebellious activity and they were looking for her?
she was in on it, yeah.
She gave one last wail of despair, and the birds picked that up as well, first as a voice and then part of the arrangement. Human speech had vanished, and what remained was a musical chorus of Arlo and Lil's exchange. Coriolanus remembered talking to Lucy Gray before the interview. Well, you know what they say. The show's not over until the Mockingjay sings. The Mockingjay? Really, I think you're just making these things up. Not that one. The Mockingjay's a bona fide bird. And it sings in your show? Not my show, sweetheart. Yours. The Capitol's, anyway.
Eerily accurate as well when you think about the overall arc of Panem.
What about it?
The show's not over till the Mockingjay sings.
Oh my God, I didn't even think of that. And I think this is really rude. The peacekeepers start firing bullets at them.
Yeah, well, you didn't have a problem with it when Katniss was shooting them with arrows.
They were the Capitals then.
Oh, okay.
They were bad birds.
Sure.
They weren't civilian birds at that point.
Civilian birds?
They were civilian birds.
All right.
Because they were jabberjays then, not mockingjays.
Okay, true.
And they were specifically being orchestrated to torture Katniss and Finnick.
Sure. I'll give you that.
They were not civilian birds. So, Sejanus is having a bad time because he realizes he may be fucked up. But also, it would have been untenable to not do this. So, it's all just a fucking nightmare for him. So sad. And yeah. So, Coriolanus gets the letter he got earlier and is basically like, what a petty little man Dean Highbottom was, still nursing his wounds over some disagreement in school. Even now when his imagined persecutor was long dead. Let it go, can't you? How can it still be of consequence? Well, because the Hunger Games are still going. Hard to let go of something when the wrong that's been done to you is still happening. Am I right?
No. Wrong?
Right?
Yeah, no, yeah. I think
I'm not right.
Wrong.
Just
yeah,
like
no,
I
right.
wasn't right about Coriolanus being a dick about starving children.
Well, I was wrong. I'm usually wrong.
No, it's okay. And Coriolanus corners Sejanus when they're mopping. He says, what's bothering you? And don't say nothing. And then Coriolanus gets annoyed with the answer.
Oh, this shit.
Yeah. Sejanus says, I don't know. I keep wondering what would have happened today if the crowd had gotten physical. Would we have had to shoot them? Oh, probably not. Probably just fired a few rounds in the air. If I'm helping to kill people in the districts, how is it any better than helping to kill them in the Hunger Games?
Good question.
What did you think it was going to be? I mean, what did you think you'd signed up for? I thought I could be a medic. A medic? Like a doctor? No, that would require university training. Something more basic. Something where I could help anyone who'd been injured, capital or district, when violence breaks out. At least I wouldn't do any harm. I just don't know if I could ever kill anyone, Corio. Coriolanus felt a stab of annoyance. Had Sejanus forgotten that it was his own reckless behavior that had led to Coriolanus killing Bobbin? That his selfishness had robbed his friend of the luxury of such a statement? Then he suppressed a laugh at the thought of old Strabo Plinth, a munitions giant with a pacifist air. He could imagine the conversations that had transpired between father and son. What a waste, he thought. What a waste of a dynasty.
Go fuck yourself.
And he asked Sejanus, well, what about in a war? You're a soldier, you know. I know. A war would be different, I guess. But I would have to be fighting for something I believed in. I would have to believe it would make the world a better place. I'd still rather be a medic, but there isn't much demand for them at the moment, it turns out. Without a war, they've got a long waiting list of people who'd like to be trained to work at the clinic, probably because they feel the same way. But even for that, you need a recommendation, and the sergeant doesn't want to give me one. Why? See, it sounds like a perfect fit. Because I'm too good with a gun. It's true, I'm a crack shot.
Oh, right, he's really good with guns.
My father taught me from when I was tiny, and every week I had mandatory target practice. He considers it part of the family business. Why didn't you hide it? I thought I was. In reality, I shoot much better than I do in training. I tried not to stand out, but the rest of the squad is terrible.
That is actually really funny.
Not you.
That is also really funny.
Oh, yeah, he's terrible. And he says, and what if it means you or Beanpole or Smiley end up dead? Because I didn't protect you. Oh, Sejanus, you have to stop overthinking everything, imagining every worst-case scenario. That isn't going to happen. We're all going to die right here of old age or excessive mopping, whatever takes us first.
That is kind of funny, I have to admit.
Terrible. The worst person you know made a good joke.
Yeah.
In the meantime, quit hitting the target or invent a problem with your eyes or smash your hand in the door. Stop being so self-indulgent, in other words. Well, so dramatic anyway. Dramatic, Jesus. That's how you end up in the arena, remember? That's how I almost got us both killed. You're right, Corio. Thanks. I'm going to think over what you said. So, target practice happens. Sejanus acts like he's not as good as he is.
Yeah, he gradually gets worse.
Oh, and Coriolanus pitches the idea of them going out and slaughtering mockingjays.
And everybody's into it.
Kind of fucked up. And they hear that there's some girl from the Hunger Games that's going to be singing, so we know who that is.
Yay.
And they drink...
Keep her away from him.
And they drink white liquor, which is basically moonshine.
Yeah.
Oh, and they go to the Hob.
Yeah.
To spend their money, and he's like, we've got no fucking money. I can barely buy 70,000 popcorn balls.
The popcorn balls were from Ma Plinth, weren't they?
Oh, yeah. Never mind. So she gets up there and is fucking charming.
Who? Maud Ivory?
Lucy.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have the whole thing with...
I skipped over Maud Ivory. Why?
Yeah, no, forget it. No, we can skip Maud Ivory. We don't need Maud Ivory.
We can talk about Maud Ivory.
No, I don't have anything to say. I just thought you were talking about Maud Ivory.
No.
She
But
seems
we
nice.
also meet Maud Ivory.
Cute little kid.
Yeah, she's a little gal.
Because Maud Ivory got name dropped before, so I just assume she's important.
Oh, she's like 8 or 9. Maud Ivory.
Yeah, she's a little baby.
Tam Amber on the mandolin, who we later find out was a foundling.
Mm-hmm.
Clerk Carmine on the fiddle, who they call CC.
It took me an embarrassingly long time to realize that all of them have a name and then a color. Yeah.
Yeah. And Barb Azure.
Azure.
Sorry.
That's okay.
On the bass, who's like kind of shy and willowy. And then Lucy Greybeard.
Yay. We love her. Fuck off, Coriolanus. Leave her alone.
She says, "Hey there, District 12. Did you miss me? I bet you never expected to lay eyes on me again."
Leave her
and
alone.
That goes both ways. But I'm back. I sure am back. And one of the peacekeepers hands her some white liquor. And just, "Well, what's this? Is that for me? Now, you all know I stopped drinking when I was 12. "What? I did. Of course, there's no harm in having some on hand for medicinal purposes."
Leave her alone.
"Thank you kindly. I do appreciate it." And then she takes a drink and says, "To clear my pipes. You know, as bad as you treat me, I don't know why I keep coming back, but I do. Reminds me of that old song." And she sings a bunch, and everyone applauds and is all into her.
We got to
And
talk
then
about
they
Coriolanus's just horrendous take on being around her again. We got to
what
talk
about
about
it?
that because it made me so angry. It's peak Gale energy. It's the most Gale
part?
thing where he's like, "Oh man, look at her. She's good." She's like, "He's so possessive." And he's thinking about how she's his, and she's thinking about how she's beautiful up there, but in a way that anybody could see, not just him. That might be a problem. Fuck this guy. Fuck this guy.
This is
part
how
pissed
some
me
people
off.
think. It's
I
so
know,
fucked up.
I know. It made me so fucking mad. He just wants to put her in a little glass box and put her on the shelf and fucking leave her there, but he doesn't want to be, he wants to let nobody else in the room. He just wants to fucking cage her like a little fucking, god damn it, she was already in a cage.
You wanted to cage her like a mockingjay.
I hate this man so much. This man is the worst.
Yeah, he thinks, Coriolanus couldn't take his eyes off Lucy Gray's face, lit up like he'd never seen it before. That's her when she's happy, he thought. She's beautiful. Beautiful in a way anyone could see. Not just him. That could be a problem.
Whoa.
Jealousy pricked his heart. But no, she was his girl, wasn't she? He remembered the song she'd sung in the interview about the guy who'd broken her heart and examined the covey for a likely suspect. There was only Tam Amber with the mandolin, but there was no sparks flying between them. One of the locals, maybe? I don't feel good about what's going to happen to the guy who did break her heart, because I feel like Coriolanus is going to do something weird to him.
Oh, he's super dead.
Maud Ivory sings "Oh My Darling Clementine."
Mm-hmm, that was cute.
Which I never realized was about a miner's daughter who drowned.
It is?
Apparently.
Really?
Yeah, I only know the chorus.
See, I thought that was a separate...
No, because he says Maud Ivory, a crowd favorite, piped out a darkly funny song about a miner's daughter who drowned and invited the audience members to join in the chorus, which surprisingly many of them did. Or maybe it was not that surprising given that most were companionably drunk now. And then the next thing is, "Oh my darling."
Okay, wait.
"Oh my darling."
You want to hear the full lyrics?
"Oh my darling Clementine."
It's really obvious when you see the full lyrics. In a cavern, excavating for a mine, dwelt a miner 49er and his daughter Clementine. Chorus. Light she was, and like a fairy, and her shoes were number 9. Herring boxes without topses, sandals were for Clementine. Drove she ducklings to the water every morning just at 9. Hit her foot against a splinter, fell into the foaming brine.
Oh my God.
Ruby lips above the water, blowing bubbles soft and fine. But alas, I was no swimmer, so I lost my Clementine.
Oh my God.
What the fuck? How have I known this song for
My entire life?
5+ years.
They teach it to children. Like, it's a song you learn in preschool.
What the fuck? Okay, well.
Okay, I guess we should have been clued in by the oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine, you are lost and gone forever.
Yeah, well, you know.
Dreadful sorry, Clementine.
Should have thought about that.
But I've never thought about it. I just thought it was like a weird breakup song.
Well, that's depressing.
Well, I hate to tell you, but Ring Around the Rosie is pretty bad too.
Oh no, I know that one. That one's about the plague.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Why do we sing these to kids? Anyway, whatever. You know, I heard the Muffin Man was also...
No, that's a myth.
Is that a myth?
Yes, that's fake.
Are you sure?
Yes, I looked this up. This is one of those things where TikTok just says, did you know that this beautiful song is actually about a man who used to eat children?
It's always that cadence.
Yeah. Did you know? And that
no, but it's not did you know? It's like, did you know? And it always bothers me.
No, it's not about a man who murders children. It was about a man whose profession was delivering baked goods, such as English muffins, or he may have been an impoverished beggar man, like a ragamuffin.
Yeah. Okay, well, that would make sense.
The other one that is making the rounds on TikTok right now is that it doesn't say Humpty Dumpty is an egg in the rhyme, which is true. It doesn't. However, apparently it's some linguistic thing, which is like a pun on a Dutch term for eggs, and like the original Humpty Dumpty rhyme was a riddle, and the answer was, oh, it's an egg.
Okay.
So like, yes, it is true that Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, all the king's horses and all the king's men could not put Humpty together again or whatever. It does not say he's an egg, but from the context and origin of it, he's an egg. This is not a story about a man bursting into pieces like some sort of Lego figurine when he falls off a wall.
Mm-hmm. And then she finishes up with the song from The Reaping that nothing you can take was ever worth keeping.
Oh, yes, because you've heard it now.
It's all over TikTok. How could I avoid it?
I'm not upset about it.
I'm just saying.
Sounds great.
I'm just
no
saying.
Problem.
The irony of which was not lost on the audience. The Capitol tried to take everything from Lucy Gray, and it had utterly failed.
It's true.
And then she says one of the nicest things, best things ever, even though they live in abject poverty. Thank you kindly. Now y'all know how this works. We don't charge for tickets because sometimes hungry people need music the most. But we get hungry too. So if you'd like to contribute, Maud Ivory would be around with the basket. Thank you in advance.
And he's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to give her a big kiss.
And he does give her the
public.
popcorn balls.
He gives Maud the popcorn balls,
I know.
Yeah. And he's like, I can't wait to see her. Because all this whole time, she's singing this song and she's having fun and she's, because she sees Coriolanus.
Yeah, hold on. Coriolanus could see Lucy Gray's lips make an ooh sound and ask where they'd come from, the popcorn balls. He knew this was the moment, and he found himself taking a step out of the shadows.
I hate this guy.
His body tingled in anticipation as Maud Ivory lifted her hand to point him out.
Stop it.
What would Lucy Gray do? Would she acknowledge him? Ignore him? Would she even recognize him, made over as he was as a peacekeeper? Her eyes followed Maud Ivory's finger until they landed on him. A look of confusion crossed her face, then recognition, and then joy. She shook her head in disbelief and laughed. Okay, everybody. This is maybe just the best night of my life. Thanks to everybody here for showing up. How about one more song to send you off to sleep? You might have heard me do this before, but it took on a whole new meaning for me in the Capitol. Guess you'll figure out why. And then she sings that song, the Capitol Jail song. And in the meantime, he keeps thinking, that's me. I'm her true love, and I saved her life.
Listen to this song, you clown ass. God
Should he
damn.
say hello first or just kiss her? Kiss her.
No,
Definitely just
none
kiss
of
her.
the no.
Never,
fuck you.
never just no, unless you really know them. And she finishes, and everyone applauds, and he starts to move toward her, and all these peacekeepers are gathered around her.
Yes,
but she can see her constantly looking toward him. They were only about 15 feet apart when a disturbance in the hob, the sound of glass breaking and voices protesting, caused him to turn his head. A dark-haired young man around his age, dressed in a sleeveless shirt and pants ripped off at the knees, pushed through the thinning crowd. His face gleamed with sweat, and his movements suggested he'd exceeded his white liquor limit some time ago. Over one shoulder hung a boxy instrument with part of a piano keyboard along one side. Behind him trailed the mayor's daughter, Mayfair, taking care not to brush against the patrons, her mouth tight with disdain. Coriolanus shifted his gaze to the stage, where a cold, fixed stare had replaced Lucy Gray's eager expression.
What was Mayfair doing there?
The other members of the band drew in around her protectively. I think that she and the other boy are hooking up.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Their showtime levity draining away into a mix of raw anger and sadness. It's him, Coriolanus thought with dead certainty, his mouth twisting unpleasantly. It's the lover from the song.
All right, chapter 24. I don't have any notes, Sally, but I know you do. Take it away.
Some of us are professionals. Just kidding. I'm worried about the Coveys since it doesn't seem there are any in the modern Hunger Games times. Hanging Tree song confirmed.
Well, yeah, we did see it.
But
so
that was a thing for me. Yay.
Well done. Yeah, we didn't talk about that at all just now, but yeah, it was the hanging tree.
I believe that I did say that Lucy Gray wasn't targeting Wovey with the water bottles.
You did, yeah.
That was confirmed this chapter.
Oh, was that a theory?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, well done.
You told me that you thought that she just left them out for anybody. But
Yeah.
she left them out for Coral.
Well, but with the hopes that, yeah, but she did just leave them out.
Yeah, but she was kind of specifically hoping that
Yeah.
certain bigger threats would drink them, not Wovey.
Yeah. I like she also theorizes that Reaper had rabies at the end.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's like her way of making it easier for herself.
Yeah.
Or if that was real. He was acting awfully
A little
strange
odd.
toward the
like
end.
even more strange than could be explained by they might be poisoning the water.
And dehydration.
Yeah.
So he's not telling her they figured out the compact so she doesn't feel guilty. That's sweet, I guess. Because he doesn't tell her that.
Right.
And then he immediately thinks Lucy Gray belongs to him.
I'm so tired of
Because I've had enough of this dude.
that should be on a loop this entire episode. Maud
I've had enough of this fucking dude.
Maud Ivory planted her wispy frame squarely in front of Lucy Gray. She scrunched her face and balled her hands into fists.
You get out of here, Billy Tope. None of us want you anymore.
And he goes, "Let's want the need, Maud Ivory."
I just, as a fellow writer who is writing a different color adjacent thing, where I, for my thing, had to look up all of the names that could realistically be colors that are green, because I did it to myself. I was like, I am writing this thing in which green is a very important thing to this group of people. And I was like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if all of their names were different shades of green? And then I had to look up all of the colors, all of the shades of green. So you just know that you're sitting there Googling colors and then just sorting through all the colors, trying to find the perfect names.
Yeah.
You just know it. Anyway.
Don't need you neither. Go on and get. And take your weasel girl with you.
"You're all sounding thin. You're sounding thin," slurred Billy Tope, and one hand slapped his instrument. "We can do without you, Billy Tope. You made your choice. Now leave us be,"
Yeah, Billy Tope.
said Barb Azure. So,
And then she was also saying them with a southern accent to see if anything sounded really good together. Maud Ivory. Maud Ivory sounds
Maud
so
Ivory,
good.
Lucy Gray, yeah.
Lucy Gray.
So they have this whole fight.
Sam Amber.
There's this whole like falling out fight thing, and he gets bitter about everything, and he gets
Bob Azure.
he gets mad, and they kick him out, and he tries to get Clerk Carmine to come with him because he and Clerk Carmine are of a family unit. And Clerk Carmine is like, no, dude. And then the peacekeepers come up to try to take him away, and one of them goes, come on now. Show's over. Billy Tope jerked away from his touch and then gave him a drunken shove. In an instant, the sociable mood in the hob changed. Coriolanus could feel the tension, sharp as a knife. Miners who'd either ignored him or given him nods over their bottles became belligerent. The peacekeeper straightened up, suddenly alert, and he found his own body almost standing at attention. As a half-dozen peacekeepers moved in on Billy Tope, he felt the miners surge forward. He was readying himself for the brawl that was sure to follow when someone pulled the plug on the lights, sending the hob into blackness. And then there's a big fucking brawl. Thoughts on this?
I think that when the peacekeepers showed up, they wanted to jump them.
Who?
The normal civilians.
They've been here the whole time.
Yeah, but the opportunity to get them was when the show was over.
Oh, yeah. Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. You think that this was premeditated?
Yeah. I've just given how everybody scampered out of different doors really quickly. I thought so.
Nobody what do you mean scampered out of doors?
When they turn the lights back on, everybody's gone, including Lucy Gray. I just assumed that that part of it was kind of a setup.
Well, there's kind of because everything's fine, and then
Billy Tope shows
punches
up.
a peacekeeper, basically, and then everybody is like, uh-oh, here we go.
Turn the lights out.
I don't think it's necessarily...
I thought that the violence increased once the lights were out.
It did. But the peacekeepers go to grab Billy Tope. The miners go to grab the peacekeepers. Because I think it's
and so they turn the lights off to disorient the peacekeepers.
To disorient everybody.
Well,
yeah.
No, not the miners, because aren't the miners used to working in the dark?
True, it's a good point. So,
That's why I had assumed that it was kind of a setup.
I don't think it was premeditated, because I think it was like an opportunity came to beat the shit out of some peacekeepers in a way where these people could get off scot-free. They're gonna do that.
Well, that's why I was like, well, the opportunity came up to beat the shit out of some peacekeepers, so they took the opportunity. I think we're saying the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just whether or not...
I just thought you were saying that they planned out from the beginning of the concert, let's turn the lights off and beat the shit out of the cops.
Well, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that they saw the cops show up and were like, we could beat the shit out of them.
Yeah, possible. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
It's like, I don't know whether it was premeditated or not, but, or like somebody going, well, we need to have an advantage of these cops as now things are starting to escalate. Let's turn the lights off,
Sure.
which might also be true.
I feel like this keeps happening where you have a theory, I misinterpret part of it, and then we quibble over pedantics for 5 minutes before we go, oh no, we're saying the same thing. And it's very silly.
Yeah, well, I think that's just called marriage.
That's, I suppose, it's also theorizing. And I love every moment of it. All right, so... Yeah, the lights go out, everyone starts punching, and everybody gets punchy, and Coriolanus is like, just punch until you can't punch anymore. I'm an animal now. Animal wildness. Dr. Gall knows what she's talking about. And then horns start going off, and like it's clear that they're bringing the paddy wagon in, so that's when everybody rabbits. And nobody really knows what happened. Everybody decides to just kind of let it be, because like there weren't enough peacekeepers on duty, and there's not a lot they can do about everybody running off. So they're just going to kind of let this mob have happened. And Coriolanus got a split lip. Fuck this guy. He deserves it.
Yeah. I don't feel bad about you and your split lip.
Meanwhile,
Wait, a lip? And Mayor Lip's daughter is there?
Hey. Well, he goes to see Mayfair Lip, who is...
And is that lip about to be split?
Well, she's flanked by peacekeepers, not under arrest, but not free to go either.
Yeah, and they kind of menacingly escort her home.
I've done nothing wrong. You've no right to hold me. Sorry, miss, said a peacekeeper. For your own protection, we can't let you go home alone. Either you let us escort you, or we call your father for further instructions. The mention of her father shut Mayfair up, but did not improve her attitude.
Well, yeah, you're being kind of weird to her.
Coriolanus and Sejanus volunteer to take her home.
It's kind of threatening that they're making her go home, like that they're escorting her home.
It is. It's a control thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's also like, you might be considered a collaborator. We don't want you to get beat to death.
Oh. No, why would she be considered a collaborator?
Because she's the mayor's daughter.
Oh. All right, that makes sense. Oh, and they're all like, you know that you dating that boy, Billy Tope, is only going to end poorly.
Yeah. Coriolanus, maybe that's part of what happened with Lucy Gray and the mayor and the whole thing.
Oh, definitely.
I bet it
that
has something to do
dating
with
Billy Tope.
Billy Tope, yeah.
But Mayor Lip knew.
Oh, yeah, somehow.
So she'd go to him and go, Daddy, put Lucy Gray's name in.
Something like that, yeah.
Daddy. You know that's probably how she sounded.
Exactly how she sounds. He thinks back to the Grandmam's commentary about how the capital people are all so savage, and he's like, yeah, man, they are. And I'm like, bro, you were throwing fists and elbows the second the lights went out. You shut the fuck up. You shut the goddamn hell up. You are the problem too, kid.
Shut the fuck up.
But yeah, the cops are like, why don't you stop running around with that good for nothing? Trust me, that won't end well. Oh, mind your own business.
Okay, on the one hand, they're probably right, but on the other hand, shut up, you fucks.
They drop her off at the house, and as they're leaving, like an automatic light comes on, and Coriolanus sees Billy Tope by the house, and he's like, huh.
Okay, this was kind of creepy, was it not?
A little bit.
He's just standing in her bush or whatever.
Yeah.
Why is he standing in the bush?
Because he wants to keep hanging out with her.
Why is Billy in the bush?
He wants to talk to her more,
Okay, but that's creepy.
It is creepy.
And he's like glaring at Coriolanus.
Well, yeah, he's like, should I say something?
Why is he glaring at Coriolanus? Oh, because
he's a cop.
Well, yeah, but also, do you think he knows about the Lucy Gray stuff?
He might.
Well, I bet Mayfair has a TV.
Yeah, Mayfair totally has a TV.
Yeah, he's totally seen Coriolanus and Lucy together.
And he's like, should I say something? Should I rat him out? Or is this the kind of thing where Lucy Gray will like me more if I don't? Because I don't know how loyal she is to him because of the Covey thing, even though she's mine now. I own her. It's terrible. And he thinks about the song, the lyrics, too bad I'm the bet you lost in the reaping. Now what will you do when I go to my grave? He's like, that's got to have something to do with it.
That made me so curious because I'm like, the bet that you lost in the reaping, what bet was he making? Because he's a gambler.
Yeah.
What was the bet that he was taking that made her go to the reaping? Was he betting that Mayfair would be good for the Covey?
Could be. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Because he lost the bet that I lost.
Yeah, so clearly he was not in on her getting picked.
Yeah.
And he's been drinking. He's not happy.
Yeah, he's not happy.
Like, it's not like him getting ditched by the Covey, but he's like living large with the lip girl.
No.
So what's going on there?
Something to do with rebellious activity, I assume, but I don't know what.
Yeah, because he's involved in rebellious activity.
Yeah.
Is Mayor Lip involved in rebellious activity?
No,
Did they
I don't think
put her
so.
in the reaping to shut her up?
That gives her a platform.
I know. That's why I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But what was the bet? Because Mayor Lip never looked at her sheet. He knew she was there without even looking at it.
I don't know. It's tricky.
There's something to be uncovered here. Detective Alley is on the case.
So he goes home. He thinks about how his lip hurts and how he hates Billy Tope and Lucy Gray is his.
Ugh.
And they're trying to figure out how he can see Lucy Gray. And ultimately they determine that they should keep things a secret. And Sejanus, meanwhile, has figured out where she lives on behalf of Coriolanus. He's like, yeah, we can go see her. Let's go. Because Sejanus is an incredibly good friend, and Coriolanus does not deserve him.
No one deserves him.
Nobody deserves Sejanus.
I want Lucanus, but it's Sejanus and Lucy.
She lives in the seam, of course. What? Said Coriolanus. I asked one of the miners last night, very casually. Don't worry, he was too drunk to remember. And yes, I'd be happy to go with you.
You are a better friend than everyone else in these books. My God. He's like PETA before PETA.
So they take a bag of ice as like a gift, and they go to the seam, and he's like, wow,
but
my God,
like
look at all the pores.
But I feel like this guy's going to be hasta la PETA.
Oh.
I know.
And on their way there, Coriolanus reflects on maybe he sucks, maybe he does suck, but like in the wrong ways. Like maybe they're right. Maybe I do just want to have like a boring job and be mediocre forever and vapid and terrible. And oh my God, my dad would have hated me and everything's terrible. And Sejanus is like, hey, Maud Ivory's singing. Let's go talk to her. And she's singing Clementine. And They talk to Barb Azure. I'm just kind of running through this because there's not a ton to talk about. These are a little bit linking in introductory chapters. He goes, so you saw me on the television?
Just the one night. It was clear and Tam Amber used a lot of foil. Usually we can't get anything but static, but it's special we even have a television. Most don't. Not that there's much to watch, but that boring old news anyway.
Dr. Gall could go on all she wanted about engaging people in the Hunger Games, but if practically no one in the districts had a working television, the impact would be confined to the reaping. Which is a great point, and one that it seems that dear Volumnia has forgotten.
Sorry you got punched. That's Billy Tope, though. Where he goes, trouble follows.
Is he your brother? Asked Sejanus.
Oh, no, he's a Clade. Him and Clerk Carmine are brothers. The rest of us are all Baird cousins. The girls, I mean. And Tam Amber's a lost soul.
And he's like, what the fuck does that even? What the fuck is that? That's not a thing. What's that mean? What are the weird fucking things you guys say? God damn.
Yeah.
The Covey found Tam Amber when he was just a baby. Somebody left him in a cardboard box on the side of the road, so he's ours. Joke's on them, too, because he's the finest picker alive.
Good lord. People putting babies in boxes and shit, that's no good, man. It's a hot take. Panem sucks.
Panem sucks.
So anyway, they gab for a while. He says he's going to stay there. Maud Ivory's taking him to see Lucy Gray. She goes, there she is. I don't know what I'm doing.
There she is, with Seamus.
And he's like, who the fuck is Seamus? He starts rolling his sleeves up, and not actually.
Oh, God.
But it's the goat.
Oh, yeah.
Seamus the goat.
I can't. This motherfucker is jealous of a goat. Fix yourself.
So Sejanus and Maud Ivory head out, and Coriolanus goes to talk to Lucy Gray. He walks over to her, and she's singing. What is she singing?
Are you coming to the tree? It's strung up a man. They said he murdered
I don't know
three.
the tune anymore.
Strange things are happening, no stranger would it be. We met at midnight at the hanging tree.
Yeah, it's in. And he's like, oh man, was she going to leave me like a coded message in the next show to come meet her at midnight? And I'm like, dude, not everything is about you.
My God, this guy thinks everything is about him. She's writing a revolutionary song.
And he walks up to her and he steps on a twig and she jumps a mile. She shook her head.
Yeah, because she's writing a revolutionary song.
As close as he'd ever seen her to embarrassed as she propped her guitar against the rock. Sorry, I still got one foot in the arena. He's like, oh yeah, man, I know all about that. I was there for 5 minutes. You must be traumatized as hell.
Oh my God, I hate him so much.
He does actually think about her though for a second that way, so that's nice.
For a second, and then she's like, oh, I've gotta go give Joe a bath. And he's like, who the fuck's Joe? And it's like, the pig, you shithead.
You found me, she said. In District 12, in Panem, in the world itself. Never mind, it didn't matter. You knew I would. Hoped you would, didn't know. The odds didn't seem in my favor. And then they make out, and I vomit. And she deserves so much better. And he gives her the ice, and they talk, and they give each other ice water from ice cubes. They melt ice water out of their hands into each other's mouths, and it's very intimate and very lovely. And
it's giving.
If it were anybody but Coriolanus, that's exactly what I thought of. Finnick and the Spile.
Suzanne has to be stopped.
Because I have seen that scene from Catching Fire.
We can't have so much sexy water drinking.
Yeah.
We can't. Suzanne has to be stopped.
So, Coriolanus Snow.
The memes that this will acquire.
What are you doing in my meadow? What indeed? And then he says the worst thing, because he keeps saying this. Just spending some time with my girl. And listen, there are times when the phrase my girl is fine. And it's when it's from anybody else.
I guess you say what can make me feel this way. My girl.
My girl.
Talking about my girl. My girl. Ooh.
That's Motown. All right, so, that case it's fine. This case is not. Fuck this guy.
This case
guy
I want to
sucks.
slap him into the middle of next month.
Because he's thinking of it as my girl, not anybody else's. Mine. Possessiveness.
Blah.
I can hardly believe it. Nothing since the reaping seemed very real.
And the games were just a nightmare. For me,
but
too.
not as much of a nightmare as being in a relationship with you.
So they recap everything. They talk over it. It's just the games again.
Lucy Gray is a victim.
Yeah, big time.
Full stop.
He's like, I wanted to help, but I couldn't. She was like, no, you did. And I'm like, you're brainwashed.
I mean, in fairness,
He did help. But
technically he did do 3 things.
Yeah. And
3
give her
whole
water.
ones.
So here's the thing about all this. I understand why she has these feelings towards him. I get it. I totally understand. It's a really good look at what power imbalances and dependency and the Hunger Games in general do. This kind of development between the two of them.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I agree.
And it makes me so mad because she was totally dependent on him to survive. She survived, therefore he succeeded. Therefore, whatever may or may not have organically happened between them is now, they're like trauma bonded in a way, but like she's the only one who really got
like Katniss
traumatized.
and Peeta if Peeta were a fuckhead.
If Peeta were the worst, yeah. And yes.
Creepa.
She was going for Coral with the water bottle, and then she considers Reaper and Treach mercy killings and self-defense because she is desperately trying to justify the fact that she killed 3 people to herself.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Treach's killing was self-defense.
Absolutely.
Full stop.
He gives the rundown on all the reasons why he got expelled and is here, etc.
But he left out the compact.
Well, she goes, that's why you're here, not the rat poison in the compact? Yeah, you covered beautifully for me on that one.
But, like, I mean, technically she didn't.
She did, because she took credit for the poison. She said he just gave me the compact. I had the idea to put poison in it.
Yeah, but they still counted against him.
Yeah. And then, like, Seamus starts nibbling on his collar, and he's going to milk Seamus, and
he's going to milk Seamus.
It's hot, and... Oh, Dean Highbottom gave her money.
Oh, yeah. I bet he does that to all the victors.
He did, but it was kind of on the quiet. First he apologized for what I'd been through, and then he stuffed a wad of cash into my pocket. I'm glad to have it. The covey didn't perform while I was gone. Too shook up over losing me. Anyway, I can pay for those guitar strings if he's of a mind to help.
Yeah, I bet he does that to all the tributes because he feels bad.
He feels bad, yeah. Why would evil incarnate help his girlfriend?
Because he's not evil incarnate,
Respect,
your father is.
Pity, guilt, morphling-induced whimsy. He mulled it over as they made their way to her front post, where he
feels guilty.
Where she hitched Seamus to a post. There's a lot of catching up.
Yeah.
Fuckboy is in the yard. Billy Tope. By the way, Billy Tope, probably cool guy in the grand scheme of things. I'm assuming he's actually a revolutionary. So the fact that we're calling him Fuckboy is just a function of the POV. But then again, I don't know. Maybe not. We'll find out. Sejanus and Billy Tope are out back talking, and Barbadger is worried because Billy Tope is there. Looks like he's given some sort of directions, said Barbadger. And if I'm right, your friend needs to go home.
Mm-hmm.
So Barbadger unfortunately trusts Coriolanus.
It is very unfortunate.
Because it seems like she...
like her, found sister...
Yeah.
has bad taste in men.
Coriolanus
and
goes...
we can't hold that against them.
Before that line, Coriolanus goes, are you worried about Sejanus? He's fine. He talks to anybody. What's he drawing? And Lucy Gray goes, I'll take care of it.
I bet he's like, okay, here are the other plans that you don't have on there.
Thanks, but you don't have to deal with all my baggage. It's in the stars, I guess, Coriolanus said with a smile. It was time, anyway, that he confronted Billy Tope and laid down a few rules. Billy Tope had to accept that Lucy Gray was no longer his, but belonged firmly and for always to Coriolanus.
Because I've had enough of this dude.
Oh, you stupid boy.
I hate this man. So Lucy Gray also was trying to go and intercept this conversation first, because I think she doesn't fully trust Coriolanus yet.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I'll take care of it. It's fine. I'll take care of it. It's fine. And then he comes along with her.
Yeah.
So engrossed was the pair that it was not until he and Lucy Gray stood directly over them that Billy Tope reacted, swiping the picture from the dirt with his hand. Without Barbadger's tip-off, Coriolanus might have been clueless, but as it was, he recognized the image almost immediately.
Oh, fuck.
It was a map of the base.
Oh, fuck.
And that's the end of chapter 24.
I don't feel good about this.
Sejanus is fucked. All right. Next week, 25, 26, and 27. And then the week after is the finale.
The baby
How
girling
depressing.
of Coriolanus Snow must stop.
It must cease immediately.
Immediately.
The baby girling must cease. Thanks.
We are ceasing.
Thanks
We
for-
can baby a girl, Sejanus,
We can.
PETA. There are multiple men. Finnick.
Finnick can be baby girl. That's fine.
We can baby girl many men
not
in this series.
Coriolanus.
Not Gale and not Coriolanus.
God, not Gale. Fuck Gale.
Somehow
God damn,
Gale
Gale's
is
the worst.
worse. Oh, no, he's not.
Thanks
but
for
also, he is, because the greatest crime in literature is to be annoying.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We have social media if you want to know what we've got going on. It's linked down below. We also have a Patreon if you want to support us that way. It's patreon.com/wheeltakes. And you can always leave us a rating and a review, which helps a lot. Other than that, do you want to play... I keep forgetting the name of the game.
Mind Meld?
Mind Meld?
Uh-huh.
Okay. 3, 2, 1,
Mayfair
Coriolanus.
Lip.
Got it.
3, 2, 1, Billy
Toe.
Tope.
There
Yes!
we go. Thanks for listening, everyone. Bye.
Bye.